Stolen Nation, tragic news coming directly out of Nigeria, man. So popular singer Ifunanya has been killed by a snake. They found two snakes in her yard, in her house, and she was killed by a snake. And apparently, the hospitals didn't have the facilities, the medical care available to save her, bro. And now listen, I've looked at I've looked into this, and there's some other YouTubers that have made some videos on this. So let's just check in to see what some YouTubers are saying directly from Nigeria, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on what it's saying throughout, man.
This is just unfortunate. How does a snake get into someone's house to bite them to death? Because right now, this story is very upsetting. A fast-rising Nigerian singer based in Abuja by the name of Nwangene Music has been reported dead after being bitten by a snake in her apartment in Abuja. This was said to have happened somewhere around the 30th of January 2026. And from what we know, the young lady, Ifunanya Nwangene, was just in her house where she's supposed to be safe. It's unclear what she was doing when all of a sudden she got bitten by a cobra out of nowhere. Sources said she quickly screamed for help and was rushed to the hospital. But unfortunately, the hospital could not provide anti-venom, and that was how she lost her life. Although,
hey, listen, first and foremost, I'm not gonna lie, bro. A lot of these things, from an outside perspective, is actually embarrassing, bro. It's actually embarrassing. Anthony Joshua, he had a car crash in Nigeria, and it took hours for the ambulance to come to his aid, bro. Hours. You have in Nigeria, and they can't even provide medical care for a snake. Now, listen. I made, when Speed went to, Nigeria, I made a video on, apparently the government shuts off the lighting, and, the electricity gets cut off, and I'm thinking why have, and I had people in the comments, and they were saying, oh, we Nigerians we're tough people, this is not a problem for us. Why have Nigerians, condition themselves to think that this is okay? This is not okay, bro. Look, people, check this out, yeah? Let me show you something real quick. Nigeria oil reserves. Yeah? Let me type in ranking. Nigeria are 11th in the world, bro, in oil reserves alone. 11th in the world, people. And you're telling me that this is a country that can't afford the right medical care for its nation, for its own people, and can't afford electricity to keep the electricity running for its people, bro. And we're Nigerians, we're tough, we're okay with this, let's shut your ass up, man. This is not okay, bro. It's embarrassing, fam. At what point, are Nigerian people gonna start saying, you know what, listen, enough is enough. Yeah, this suffering is not normal. Nigeria is the biggest black population in the world, bro. The biggest black population in the world. You shouldn't have. Even when Speed was in Nigeria, you shouldn't have people running down Speed, begging for money, bro. You should have hospitals, that can take care of its people, man. Now, anyway, listen. Let's get back to the video, man. Let's see what more this guy's got to say, bro.
Though some sources are saying she wasn't rushed to the hospital on time, while other sources are claiming that she was taken to the hospital quite all right, but it was the hospital's fault for not administering anti-venom or not having it or not being able to do anything. But the big question a lot of people are asking is, how did two cobras, two snakes, get into her apartment? How? Some people are even of the opinion that it's not ordinary, that those snakes must have been sent spiritually to kill her. This is a young, promising talent, a very good singer, a rising, upcoming Nigerian artist based in Abuja. Her light shines bright, and it's now dimmed because of this tragedy. In a video, we could see two men basically extracting the snake out of her apartment. It's unclear if this was done at the time she was already in the hospital or if this was done after her passing. But they eventually went to her house and they found two cobras.
Two cobras.
They look like small cobras for the most part, but these are very deadly, dangerous creatures, no matter the size. I would go to a house.
And listen, two cobras at the same time. I don't know if, cobras go around in groups. I don't know if they go around together. But two cobras, it just sounds a bit. It sounds a bit. I don't know. It just sounds a bit weird still. I can't lie. Especially, uprising. I heard her vocals. Listen. This is her vocals, yeah. This is her singing. Her singing is actually really good, man. This is her singing, people. Check this out, man. Now listen, I don't know what the hell she's saying. I don't know what she's saying, but it sounds good, innit? Like, she can sing real good. And, you see, in places like Nigeria, yeah, you're going to have like a lot of people that are just envious. Especially because the government, yeah, isn't helping the peoples. So people are naturally going to be at... And even though it's not right, it's just the world we live in. A lot of people are going to be envious, like... They're going to be thinking, oh, you've come from somewhere that I've come from. How dare you feel like you can do better than me and leave me behind, You know that type of weird energy. And, yeah, you're always going to have just evil people out here in the world. But then, listen, this is not me saying that I believe someone planted them or anything, yeah? But, like, you can't rule out those type of possibilities. Yeah, two cobras at the same time is kind of weird. It was probably even more than two. But it's just two that were still there in the house. Who knows? It could have came through the toilet. I don't know how snakes operate. But it's just actually just a sad situation overall, man. But let's just hear a bit more of what this guy's got to say. Yeah, I want to know what he thinks about the snakes.
It's still a mystery. But I already have my own theory on it, which is basically the fact that it's as though she lives in developing neighborhood, and also as though she lives in a ground floor bungalow. And we know that these ground floor bungalows are usually a target when snakes get into the septic tank and the pipes that leads to the toilet. That is most likely how the snakes got into our apartment. They got in through the pipes, get into the toilet, because I know there used to be a time when snakes used to bite people in the toilet. We've had an incident like this in the past where a young lady was beaten because she went to the toilet to use the toilet and got beaten by a snake. This was about some years back. It's unclear if it's the same situation at Ifunanya, but it's most likely the same thing because these snakes breed in the bathroom. The only way they could get in is through the septic tank. I think the incident that also happened the last time too was also in Abuja. I might be wrong on that. So I don't believe it's spiritual. I don't believe it. I just believe that this was the case. This was the situation. That is why anytime I go to the bathroom, even though it's in the daytime, I always make sure I check the toilet first before I pee or sit on it. You gotta also look around.
People, either way, yeah? Let's say someone did plant them. The fact of the matter is, Nigeria should have the right healthcare. They should have the right healthcare to help its people. They have enough money. It's a rich country through minerals. They have enough money to help the nation rise, bro. Where's the money going? That is a question that people in Nigeria should be wondering, man. Where is all that money going? You know what I mean? But yeah, man, people. Sad news coming out of Nigeria, man. Popular singer. She obviously had a big future. She sounds like a Disney star, bro. She sounds like... Her vocals sound like something you'd hear in a Disney movie. But, people, if you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. Peace! I'm out.